Hi everybody, it's Bobby of Knitter's Niche. Welcome to my bonus room. Welcome to my Knitter's Niche. Today is October 18th, 2023. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Northeast Alabama in the United States. You know, I love a cozy hand knit sweater knotted around my shoulders when the weather is still a bit all over the place. You know, it has this nice squishy feeling. Now, this sweater is the cardigan that I had talked about last podcast in episode number 21. If you want to take a look at that, I will put the information down below. The pattern is by Tori Yu. It is a cardigan. It is all done in garter stitch and with an I-cord edging. So I'm sitting here up in my bonus room with my with my sweater knotted around my shoulders just to kind of give it some different options. And what I'm wearing here is a commercial made sweater. Actually, the sweater is it's called Barefoot Dreams that I'm wearing. It's so soft. I was gonna try to get a sweater done, and I'm gonna talk about this in just a little bit. I don't have too much to do. There's no way I could have had it done by today, and I wanted to get some information out there for y'all because we have the winner of the toolkit giveaway by Stassi. I almost said Stassi. I have a niece, his name is Stassi, by Tote Studio. So, and the winner, I'll let you know here in just a little bit who it is. Congratulations. Back to what's going on here today. I want to, first of all, let's back up a little bit. Let's back up. I want to welcome everybody. Welcome to my new viewers and welcome back to my returning viewers. I have quite a few more subscribers. Thank you so much. You'll be able to get notifications whenever I have any new information out for you about my knitting, about my crocheting. And today I'm going to talk about a little bit about sewing, just a little bit about sewing. So let's go ahead and talk about what I've been up to in these last few weeks. Now, I told y'all I was going to go to Illinois and I was going to go visit my mother and my family and friends because we're originally from Illinois, born and raised in Illinois. So we went back October 1st and we were there for a week. And I had mentioned that I was going to be going to Wool and Company in Elgin, Illinois, to that wool shop, yarn shop. And I did. We went. My husband drove me up there. It wasn't quite a 3-hour drive, but pretty close to it from where my mother lives. We live in central Illinois. So we just headed north and went up to Elgin, which is near Chicago. And here it is. Here's my bag that I have here from Wool and Company. And it is a beautiful yarn shop. And you know, there's video of us driving, well, not of us, but you see Wool and Company is videoing it as we're coming into the parking lot. And I'm just, okay, when I get inside, I'm gonna, make sure that they don't mind if I video and tour as they give me a tour through the yarn shop. So, well, and we met a delightful young lady. Her name's Bethany. And apparently I had not shut the video off. So what I had when we walked in there, when she was walking me through the store and talking to me, and I have a little video of her also, I apparently had not turned the video off. So the video, it's videoing while I have it in my hand down beside me. So I really had nothing there as far as that goes. Now, what I did do after I had done that, I turned it off, seeing what I had done. So I thought, oh shoot, well, she's busy, so I'm not going to bother her again. So I went ahead and did some footage on my own. So I will insert this here and you will get to take a look at Wool and Company. wanted to think, wasn't it great? Wasn't it great? So there's a little bag that you get, it says Wool & Co. Wool & Company. And then it says Happy Knitting on the back. You know, and as you're leaving the store, and I don't think I got a shot of that, I'll take a look and see. It says above the door, Happy Knitting when you're leaving the store. It's so nice. So I'm going to show you what I bought. I had in mind to do petite knit terrazzo slipover. I was wanting to do that, and it requires a worsted / Aran weight yarn. So, and I always have several requests from the people that view my podcast. They always are asking me, can you possibly keep it, you know, within a modest price range if you can, and talk about those yarns so the majority of us can knit also. And I said, absolutely. So I was talking to Bethany, and she took me over to Malabrigo. I've never knit with Malabrigo. I know it's a popular yarn. It's a nice yarn. It's a very nice yarn. So I got 4 skeins of this, and like I said, I was originally going to do the terrazzo slipover by Petite Knit, but I've changed my mind on that, and I'll tell you why. Okay, this is it. This is called Fog. This is called Fog. Isn't it pretty? Now, let's take a look and see. This is, they call it Malabrigo Rios, and it's worsted 210 yards a skein, and the gauge is 18 to 22 stitches per 4 inches on a US 7 to a 9. Which would be a 4.5 to 5.5 millimeter. It's 100% superwash merino wool. Okay. Now, if you look, there's a little bit of color change in there, and you can't tell, but I think, let me grab another one. I think it almost looks almost a purple tone. I don't know if you can pick up on that. So I went ahead and bought it. I bought 4 of them. And let me get the other 2 here. Like I said, I was going to do the terrazzo slipover, but I just got accepted for a test knit. Okay. Tiff. Her name's Tiff. Is it Tiff Nealon? Oh. All right. Well, I'm going to put a little clip in here, and I'll correct that. I don't know if last name's Nealon. And my goodness, I really wasn't expecting to get accepted for the test knit, because I'm going to tell you what. I have applied for a Caitlin Hunter test knit recently. I've applied for the Creabea, a test knit with her. I applied for... oh, goodness gracious, her name's escaped me, but she's extremely popular and very, very talented designer. Why can't I think of her name? Anyway, out of the 3, I heard back from one that I did not get accepted for the test knit, and it was the Creabea. And she said, she was so sweet. She said, as soon as this is released, I am going to offer you a really good discount. Since you took the time to apply for the test knit, everybody that didn't get chosen, she's going to give us an extra discount on her pattern that she was having test knitted. So, but anyway, so it's been tough. You know, I've test knit for Tori Yu. She's a big designer, and I generally don't even see the more popular test knitters. I don't even, designers. I don't even see when they put a test knit up. But I just have gotten lucky on this one. So I'm doing this for Tiff. It is due December 3rd, and it is with a worsted weight, long sleeve. And it just looks like it's just going to be right up my alley, right up my alley. So that's what I've been doing the past few weeks. We did spend a week at my mother's place, my mother's house. I had lived there since, well, before I got married. I lived there since 1969. We had moved there in 1969, and she's 92 years old. She's still in her house. My dad, he God love him, he passed away back when I was 18. So she's been a widow since I've been 18. And she's a hoot. She's 92 years old. She does everything you can think anybody does. She does it. She drives, mows her own yard. Her neighbors are always trying to say, oh, please, nope. No, I enjoy doing it. She does enjoy doing that. She trims her bushes. She does everything. And, it's kept her young. It's kept her young. She's very, very healthy. She's very outgoing. So anyway, we enjoyed our time in Illinois, and then we came back home, and I've been doing some knitting. So you're all probably saying, all right, Bobby, what have you been doing for the past 3 weeks? Okay, I have been knitting, and I'll tell you what's on my needles. I have been knitting the Andrea Mowry Weekender Crew. And I actually have a tutorial on YouTube that I had put up, it's probably been a month ago, that shows you how to do the tubular cast on for the Weekender Crew. And I go through all the steps, I go through the setup rows, I go through it all to tell you how to have success with that. And it's really not that hard. Okay, so you are going to go ahead and start with that tubular cast on across the bottom. It's a split hem. So you don't have a ton of stitches to do. You have half of the stitches to do. So you do the tubular cast on, and then you continue up and you do all your ribbing and so on and so forth. So let's take a look how far I've gotten. I'm going to hold it up here. Now, the way I'm holding it up is the end result as far as which side's showing. This is considered the right side, but when you're knitting it, this is the right side. But when you're knitting it, okay, this is all going to block out much wider here because I'm getting close. Well, I'm already there. This is where it separates for sleeves right here. So it is going to, all this is going to block out wider because I've got quite a bit of ease here, you can see. It is more of a boxy sweater. It's so cute. It's so cute. And I'm loving the color. The yarn that I'm using is Berroco Vintage DK. It requires a DK weight yarn. It is knit on size US 6 needles, which is 4mm needles, as you can see here. And hey, let's take a look real quick. These are my needle toppers, and they are in the Tote Studio knitting and crochet toolkit. And this is what we gave away, and we have a winner. I'll let you know who that is in just a little bit. This is the knitting and crochet toolkit. We had a giveaway, and these are the things that are inside. So you get 2 of the little needle toppers, and you get 2 more in here, another set. You get stitch markers, you get a really nice tape measure. You also get the little crochet hook that you can use to fix your stitches, like if you drop a stitch. There we go. There you are. And you also get a tapestry needle to weave in your ends. To sew in your ends, you can do your tubular bind off with that. You can use that. Okay, so anyway, these are the needle toppers that I'm using. They stay on so well. I'm telling you what, watch. These are stainless steel needles. These are Chalgu. And I really got to give them a tug. So that's great. I push them down. They're wonderful. Okay, so here we go. This is the way that you knit this, that you knit the Weekender Crew. It's actually all knit until you come to the, of course, the hem at the bottom is not, the ribbing at the bottom is not, but this is how you're knitting it. And this is really the wrong side, but you're knitting and you're doing that slip stitch. This is a sneak peek of the right side. So I am to the point here, I have the ribbing. Now this will come down. It's going to be a drop shoulder. Of course, those are on waste yarn, just waiting for me to come and pick them up and to attach it here. And then you have the drop shoulder, and then you're just going to be straight stockinette on down here, and then you'll do the ribbing at the cuff of course. So I'm doing quite well, I think, and I love the yarn. You know, I didn't know. I've never used this yarn before, and that's what I'm here to do, is to tell you and critique the yarn that I use and let you know highlights. So far, I really like it. Really like it. But again, this is the wrong side, and I kind of questioned it. Oh, I'm knitting, and you know, they keep saying, and I keep hearing it. Trust the pattern, trust the designer. I thought, well, I've knit other bottom ups, but this, I'm not seeing where this is going. And what it is this little area right here. Right here. Because you're knitting in the round, and then what she does is she has you cable cast on, I won't tell you how many stitches, but you cable cast on your first side there, and then you knit over, and then you do a twisted cast on for the other side, the same amount. And I'm thinking, where is this going? Where is this going? Where's it going? Okay, so then I said, I'm keeping going and keeping going. Well, what you're going to end up doing, see these ends, how you are going to take and you are going to whip stitch those together. And there's not very many stitches. Whip stitch those together because that's your underarm. But anyway, it's hard for me to show you. So if you get to that point and you're thinking, what? Well, it's okay. It's okay, just trust the pattern. Because believe me, she's done enough patterns, she knows what she's doing. Okay, that's the Weekender crew. So let me turn it to this is the right side facing out. So this is it. Okay, so I'm really excited about getting that done, and then I'll have that test knit to get started on. You know, when I told you that I kind of was hesitating with this, and I was like, oh my goodness, why can't my brain connect this with this and how this is going to work and come together? You know, I just couldn't quite get it. So I thought, I've been wanting to knit a pair of socks, and I'm really into this autumn fall spirit right now. So I had purchased these, oh gosh, I was watching a podcast, and I just thought these are really, really nice, and I love lace. Love to knit lace. So you know what, let me clarify that. I love to knit lace. I've done an all over lace sweater and I've told y'all about that. That was a lot. I love to knit lace when it's not a whole lot of lace, because I needed something easy. I needed something small and right here, because I'm doing the Weekender, you know, and I need just a bit of a break from it. So I picked up my needles, got out this pattern. It's called September Woods, and it's by Olivia of This Handmade Life, and she has a YouTube channel. I'm going to link that down below so you can take a look at her YouTube channel. She is, and okay, I'm going to read something right here really, really quick. I went through and I counted how many patterns she's got. I don't know if it's maybe 3 shawls and a pair of fingerless gloves also, but listen to the number of socks that she has. She has 62 different sock patterns on Ravelry to purchase, but some of them are free. So I'm going to tell you how many are free. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 patterns are free. And they're not just some easy peasy, simple little basic vanilla sock patterns. They have lace in them. They're good. She's very, very good. So this is what I did, and they're right behind me, so I'm going to show them to you. They feature twisted rib. They feature lace. They feature 3x1 ribbing. And then you have the rounded toe decreases. There's a lot there for your money. This was $3.50 for this pattern. And from what I can tell, looking at her patterns, that is I think there might have been a 2 or 3 or so were $3, but this was $3.50, and they're right here behind me. Right here behind me. And they are knit with, let me grab these. Oh, hang on. I'm going to turn my little lights on. I don't have my lights on. Well, I don't even know if you can see them. You can barely see them. Okay. These are the socks. And these are knit with Ginger Snap yarns. And it is, let me see. This is another, I'm not going to show you the yarn yet, but I'm just going to read off of what this one says. I don't know the color name because you know what? I had bought this, I would say 2.5 years ago or so, this yarn. And it is on the Zest fingering weight, which is 80% merino and 20% nylon superwash, 420 yards, which is 110 grams. So it's a little bit extra on that. And again, it's by Ginger Snap, and they're based in Canada. So here we go. We're going to take a real good look at these. So I mentioned there's twisted rib. There's twisted rib at the top. Then there's your lace pattern. And then she comes back with the twisted ribbon through here with her yarn overs to become between the leaves, the lace leaves. Isn't that beautiful? And then she goes on and she has the 3x1, which means knit 3, purl 1 for those who might not know. And then you just have straight stockinette on the bottom. So it's nice to have the straight stockinette on the bottom because you're walking on that. So you really don't want to have any texture on the bottom. Generally you don't. And this is the rounded toe with the decreases. Your basic, pretty much basic. I've used those decreases before. And then you have the heel flap, the heel, the flap, and then the gusset through here. See, I'll show you this side. And look, I don't have any hole. And it's all from her directions in the pattern. It is all from the instructions. It's nothing that I did extra at all. So she tells you how to, she doesn't tell you you're going to avoid the hole, but it avoided the hole because you can get a hole there because you're going from one direction into another and you're pulling that stitch there and it opens it up. So, but the way her directions went, it didn't, it's got a little nice stretch to it. So I'm going to put some pictures in here so you can see it on my feet too. You can see me wearing them. This is the first one I had knit, and I mentioned before that I can generally tell the first one I knit because it's looser. Because I do this every time. It's looser because I hesitate that it might not. So it's just a hair looser. And I'm aware of it as I'm knitting the second one to not go too tight. And I'm not a tight knitter, but I'll show you. I didn't block them, so I'm going to show you what they look like off of the sock blocker. I couldn't think of the name of it. The sock blocker is by Silly Monkey. I have 3 sizes that came together. Silly Monkey, and I got them off of Amazon. So this is what it looks like. I'm not going to block it. And the reason I'm not going to block it is, doesn't it look long? Doesn't the foot look long? It's not. It fits me nicely. It really does. But I'm not going to. What I did do is I just took my hand steamer and I steamed just right here for the lace to open up. Isn't that beautiful? You can see that, the lace. Let me show you this one. This one doesn't have as much stripe going through the little lace leaf area. Okay. But these are so pretty. They're so pretty. Oh, I'm really loving these. So we'll put these back on the sock blockers because it just looks nicer, and I'm going to hang it up so we all can take a look, continue looking at that as I go on further with my episode. So I would recommend these highly. The patterns are just, $3.50. I'm going to read this quote that she has on here on the front page of her pattern. And Olivia had put this on here, the designer. It says, A glory of gold and russet and gray, the treetops old glow in the day, and one by one the dry leaves fall, the autumn sun smiles on them all. And it's an author unknown, but I think that's really nice. She puts that on there. So it's a beautiful pattern, a lot of information in here. Another thing too, with this pattern, and maybe with all of her patterns, I'm not sure, but this pattern, she has it written out stitch by stitch, and she also has a chart. She also has a chart. So if you are uncomfortable with charts, or I should say more comfortable with the written pattern rather than going from a chart, they're both in there. They're both in there. And I did magic loop with my, I've got it right here, my ChowGoo US size 1. And I'm trying to remember, which would be 2.25 millimeter on 32-inch circular needles. That means 32 inches long, and this is a 32-inch long, and it's the size US 1 or 2.25 millimeter. These are the needles that I use. So I was also looking today and thinking, you know, I've got some other yarn from Ginger Snap that I have, that I got the same time that I had gotten this particular yarn that I had knit these socks with. And it has just been sitting, and it's beautiful yarn. My gosh, is it nice yarn. So I was looking this morning and I thought, I wanna knit something with this yarn. And the color, let me show it to you real quick. I'm gonna hang these back up here. Okay. This is the yarn. It's very Halloween looking. So this is called Weasel. It's also the Zest Fingering Weight, 80/20 merino nylon, superwash, 420 yards, 110 grams. So I was on Olivia's Ravelry page, and I got to looking, and there's a pair of socks there, and these are free, y'all. These are one of her free pairs, and it says a little hocus pocus socks. Okay, there is cabling coming down, and I haven't read through this, but I'm thinking it's maybe just on the outer of the foot there. But she's taken that, and she's also used green for the heel and the toes, a contrasting color. So I have this yarn here, and it is from Yorkshire Spinners, and it's green. And I had purchased this December, hang on, this past December 11th, 2022, I had purchased this, and from the Wool Warehouse, from the Wool Warehouse, and it's in the UK. So I thought this green would be nice with this, with these socks. I think that's going to work out perfectly. Will I get this one done this year, or will I decide to start on a pair of holiday socks, Christmas socks? So, but I did want to let you know about this free pattern. If you want to whip out a pair of socks, you could even make these shorties. You know, you can do them the leg part as long as you want. Now, I do see a chart here. Like I said, I just printed this off, so I haven't looked through it all. I see the chart for the stitches, for cable stitches. And let me see. I think it's just charted. I think this one's just charted. It looks like it's only charted, but you know what? It's not hard, because on a chart, on a knit chart, it is going to have symbols, and each symbol means something, and it's on the chart. And you just they have a little key that tells you what each symbol means, and then you just follow that. It's really easy to do. And actually, on some patterns, I think it's the easier way to go, the quickest way to go. All right, so that's a pair of socks that maybe you might want to knit, a little hocus pocus socks. I think those are so cute. Like I said, she's got other ones out there that you can knit. I did mention, if I don't do this yet, make sure I have it the right way, for a little Hocus Pocus socks pattern. I actually have a couple back here. These are not last year's yarn color, Christmas yarn color with Yorkshire spinners, but the year before. So it would have been, I believe, 2021. And let me grab that real quick here. It is also Yorkshire spinners. And this one's called Robin. And this one is called Nutmeg. So I thought, well, I could do that and get my holiday sock ready, because you know, I hate to commit to something, because it seems like every time I commit to something, I want to commit to more and more and more. Well, it would be nice starting this month in October if I did one pair of socks a month. And since I did my first ones this month and kind of have it in the back of my mind to do one a month, then from October to October is what I'll do. So this is Robin, this is Nutmeg. So I would think I'm probably going to do a vanilla sock. I don't know how much a textured sock, I don't know how much this print would take away from an actual patterned sock that has different stitches in it and texture. So, and then last year's, from what I recall, and I hope I have this correctly, last year's with Yorkshire spinners, last year's Christmas was gingerbread. And this is gingerbread, and I've already started a sock last year, but I didn't get done. So this is the gingerbread. I'm trying to make it look a little neater here. This is gingerbread. Isn't it pretty? And this is called Cayenne. And I'm going to do the, whoops, the toe and the heel in the Cayenne. Or I could even do it in the green. Or I could even do it in some white that I have. So I did start a sock, and I'll show it to you. All it is a 3x3. And this is how it knits up. And that's gingerbread. So this is their Christmas. So I'm going to look and see what this Christmas is and see maybe if I can purchase that. So let's talk about price. Let's talk about price when you're ordering from Great Britain, from the United Kingdom. I have my receipt here from Wool Warehouse, and I was extremely surprised. Now, the exchange rate at the time, I don't know what percentage it was, but I can tell you the dollar amount. Each one of these skeins, each one, regardless if it is the printed or if it is the solid, it was 8 pounds. Is that 49 pence? They say pence. 8.49. Okay, so what in US dollars, it was $9.75. Now, you get 400 meters, which means 437 yards on these skeins. Yorkshire spinner. Now, those are very, very popular yarn. And this is 75% wool and 25% nylon. And it's soft. It's nice and soft. Nice and soft. Okay, so that equaled $9.75. And for the shipping, it was 4 pounds, 99 pence, question mark, 4.99. And that equaled $6.09 in US dollars for this order. And I was like, son of a gun, that's nothing. I mean, that, you know, here in the United States, ordering from here to come to my home here in the United States, it's a lot of times it's never less than $10. And it can be as much as, you know, if you get it from Canada, which is right next to us, above us, north of us here, it's ridiculous, the amount of money that you have to pay for postage. So ordering from Wool Warehouse in the UK, I would do it, y'all. Now, I checked to see today what the US dollar equals to the pound as far as, well, okay, 8.49 is the same price, 8 pounds, 49 pence, question mark, equals, now it equals $10.34. So it has gone up 59 cents in US dollars. So 59 cents each. So they're $10.34 each versus $9.75 from a year ago. A little less than a year ago. No, a little, yeah, less than a year ago. So I'd show you my address is on here though. I'd show this to you. I can show you. You know, anyway. So it doesn't cost hardly anything. It just cost me $6.09 to have it shipped to me from the UK. And one of them, the first one came fairly quickly. I don't even think it was 7 days. And then I ordered from them again and it was 14 days. But we were getting closer to Christmas. So, and I'm pretty sure it was these two. It was the, well, the two that I had bought here were gingerbread and robin. So it took a little while to get those. So I would recommend Wool Warehouse, ordering from them, because like I said, it is less. It might be the same in some areas, but you know, although, I should put this back up here, although Wool & Co., there's no charge for shipping within the United States. There's no charge at all. Okay, let's see what else we're going to talk about today. We talked about socks. I must have socks on the brain because that was just a really nice little relief for me to knit some socks. To knit some socks and you know, it's not a race. I keep telling myself this is not a race. I can, if I've always got something to talk about. Like today, I don't have a brand new garment to wear, but I have one on my needles because that's what I like to do, is have something new to wear on my podcast and each episode. Well, if I did that, and I can knit, I mean, I'd have to knit 2 sweaters a month. Can it happen? Well, sure, it can happen. But am I going to enjoy it? Probably not if I push myself that hard. But here's a look at West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply yarn, which is fingering yarn. Okay, so let's move along here. And I mentioned at the beginning that I might be talking about a little bit of sewing, a little bit. I have made project bags for myself. I don't sell them. Will I ever sell them? No. And here's one, for example. I mean, it's very utilitarian. And I've talked about the pattern that I bought. I bought it on Etsy. And then this is it. It has the little loop handle here. You pull that through. Little loop handle. Well, I thought I would really like to have a project bag that is more of a tote. Maybe about this size, maybe a little bigger, but would have the handles that come up on both sides and maybe a pocket on the outside. So I looked back and I had purchased another pattern. It's by someone I haven't used her patterns before. It is called, her company is called Indigo Bird. And I will be sewing the Sierra tote. There's a tote, which this is the tote, and there's the bin. So I'm going to be sewing the tote. Now, you know what I mentioned, that this is not a race. And it isn't a race, and even when it comes to sewing, because I want to be mindful and thoughtful and do everything the right way so everything turns out nicely. Let me put this back here. So here's what we're doing. I've got it all cut out finally. And it took me a little longer because, for one, I had never used her patterns before. Now, in this pattern, you get the actual size. When you print it off, you just print it off on your printer at home, and it has all the actual sizes fit into here. Now, if it's a bigger piece, there'll be half of it here on one page and the other half on another page, and then it'll have a little symbol is where you tape, and you'll tape it together. It's really easy, really easy. So these are the colors that I'm using. It's gonna be so nice. Okay, because you know what? I've had this yarn, or excuse me, yarn. I have yarn on the brain. I've had this fabric for a while. So there's that. And this is going to be the inside, top of the inside of the bag, the interior. Now this is the exterior pocket. So here's how it's gonna go. This might be hard for me to do. And if it looks ridiculous, I'll just edit it out. Okay. So this is the panel, they call it the exterior center. So here's the tote, here and here. And this is the exterior center. And on top of that center, you will have a pocket. So this is going to be the pocket on the outside center of the bag. That rustic check. Okay, on that side. Now on the opposite side of the bag, it is going to have the same center, but it's going to have the pumpkins on the pocket on the opposite side of the tote bag. And the reason I did that was because here are the side panels. Okay, here's the side panels of the bag. So it's this color, and then be same thing over here on this side. And I could have made it identical, but then I would have had to match up all these little checks. I would have had to match up, and there, I don't really want to do that because I want it to be a relaxing project. So that's what I decided to do. So one side will look like this, and the other side, whoops. This is the other pocket, the center part of the tote. The other side will look like, well, we'll fold this over and pretend that this is the panel on the side. Look like this. And it's going to turn out great. Now I'm lining it with this fabric, and this is just a cotton twill. I'm lining it with that, and then on the inside, that's the inside of the bag, and these will be the pockets. So on each side, whoops, on each side of the interior of the bag, there'll be pockets, and it's going to be the rustic. And then on the top edge will be this gold color here. So, and they also have you make little sections here, and they give you, you could probably do whatever size pockets you want, but you will top stitch from here on down and decide you want a thinner one, maybe to hold a little crochet hook or a pin or whatever. Needle, circular needles, you might have a wider space, you can hold them in there. So anyway, this will be the interior, what it's going to look like with the pockets inside. And it will all come together. I'm going to take my time doing it. So for the straps that are shown here, I'm using webbing. So I'll be using this. Okay, again, it's Indigo Bird, and I'll put a link down below if any of you are interested in that and sewing your own project bag. But I will never sell them, you know, and the reason being, it's a lot of work. So I will never sew. But you do use fusible webbing, or excuse me, fusible interfacing. So that for each of the outer pieces. The inner line, you don't need it because the outside will have that stability from the outside interfacing. So, okay, that's something I'm going to do. So what do I have on the list here? Well, get the Weekender Crew done, which is by Andrea Mowry. Get the Weekender Crew done. Sew my bag. Get that all sewn up. I'm telling you what, it took me all day, because then I stopped cutting out all the pieces of fabric because I thought, I don't want to put those checks together and line. I don't want to line those up on the corners. So then I thought, oh, am I going to go to the store and get another fabric? And I'm sitting eating supper, and it just dawns on me, oh, I'll just make them different. So it's going to be a very interesting bag. Okay, so now Weekender Crew, the Sierra Tote, I'm going to get that done. Thinking about, and I don't know that I'm going to do socks since I already have my one pair of socks done. Right here. Right there. Since I have those done. So I should probably, November would probably be another fall-ish. Maybe have some leaves on that one too. I like leaves. I'm sorry. I like lace leaves. I do. They're pretty. We'll get that done. So here we go. I'm going to tell you who has won the Tote Knitting and Crochet Toolkit. I'll let you know who won that. And it is Sue Ann Miller. Congratulations, Sue Ann. And her comment was, your ranunculus looks great. It's such a versatile pattern. You just can't knit it once. The green toolkit looks amazing. Thank you for sharing. Well, thank you, Sue Ann Miller, for subscribing and for commenting and liking and joining me every podcast. And I appreciate you so much, and enjoy your toolkit from Tote Studio. And we will be getting a hold of you, and we'll get that shipped to you ASAP. And enjoy it. Enjoy it. I use mine. I truly do use mine every day. I knit every day. I use mine every single day. Every day. It's just so nice. And again, it comes in this little bag. And she's going to get the green one, right? I'm wishing y'all cozy vibes this season. Just cozy vibes this season with your hand knit sweaters flung across your shoulders and knotted, and in all the comfort of a garter stitch garment. And you know what? I've got another shawl right here too. I meant to talk about this one, so I'm going to take this off and show you that. This is the garter again. Again, go back and watch the episode before this, episode 21. I go into great detail about the cardigan by Tori Yu. So this, I'm going to put this on also. This is the half flight shawl, which has a lot of nice nice warm colors in it. Ooh, got this light coming in. I want to wrap this around me here. It's so nice to have these hand knits on. Throw them around your shoulders. Give it a little knot, because that weather out there is still kind of iffy out there. And just put that over your shoulder, kind of do a little asymmetrical look here. And y'all, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned, because there's a lot more to come. November is just around the corner. What is today? Did I say the 18th? So more than likely it's going to be November when I film my next podcast. As I am doing new patterns, I'm doing that test knit coming up. And if there's anything new to me, or I might think is new to you, I will put a tutorial up for you. Okay, y'all, get out there, get your hand knits, go out there and knit the day. Get your hand knits, wrap them around you, put them in a little knot. Go outside, enjoy your day, wear them inside. I'm up here in my knitter's niche, and I've got the air's off, and we had the heat on earlier, but I turned it down because I wanted it to feel a little cool so I could wear my garments up here comfortably. Again, it's fall. Here's my mums. I got this mum at Aldi's, and it was like $4 and change. I did the same thing last year. These mums are the best. Whether they have them now, I don't know, because I got them a few weeks ago. So I have my mums here. I've got my wreath up here. Oh, and real quick, here are my knitted pumpkins. Yeah. If these aren't precious, I don't know what is. Aren't they sweet? Aren't they sweet? So this is the very first one I had ever knit. These are just knit with some acrylic yarn that I had, and this yarn is variegated, so it just takes you through a gradual, slow variegation of colors. And the leaf I found in a pattern book of mine, but I'm sure you could find a leaf on Ravelry to knit. And the stem is an I-cord. And here's a gold one. And I talked about these last year. Again, I will put a link to where I found the tutorial on YouTube. So happy fall, everybody. I appreciate y'all so much. And go out there and knit your pumpkins, knit your socks, knit your shawls. knit yourself a garter, cardigan, and just enjoy your knitting as much as I do. It gets me through the day. I feel like I'm always having to be productive, so why not knit? If you're one of those people that are like, rather than sitting here, I could be doing something, but I have everything else done. Well, if I'm sitting here, why not knit? So that's what I do. Or sew. I'm going to take up some sewing again. Okay, I'll let y'all go. Today's Thursday. Woo-hoo. Okay, y'all. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.